Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company. So glad you could join me and welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. I've got a gorgeous morning upon me, and today folks, I am boatless. I'm not here with the boatless angler. He's not available to fish today, but I am boatless. And there's a lot of fish to be caught right from shore. And today folks, I'm going for trout. Looking for steelhead or rainbows or brown trout. And that's the beauty. I'm down here in the Niagara River and all of those species are all in here. So I got an opportunity to catch any one of them. So that's pretty exciting. And the method I'm using today, folks, I've got a 6.5 foot rod and I'm running a 10-pound test braided line with a 10-pound test fluorocarbon leader. Running to, of course, the Thundermist T-turn. And if it doesn't say Thundermist, folks, it's not a true T-turn. And the size I'm using is the size small. There's also an extra small, which I was debating on using. That's really tiny when you really need that finesse approach for crystal clear water. But today the water is clear, but I'm going to say not crystal clear. So I've decided to go with the size small T-turn. And then I've run about 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet of line to a sinker, and then a slightly smaller line, like an inch smaller, to a hook. And then above the hook, folks, what I've done is I've pegged the bead. I've got a caramel colored bead on today, which is very realistic looking actually. Looks like a salmon egg. And that's the color I decided to go with today because the clarity is decent and it looks really natural. So I went with the caramel colored. And what I do is I peg the bead with a toothpick just above the hook. I like to go about an inch above the hook. And what I'm doing today, folks, is I'm just casting it out. My sinker's about 3/4 ounce, and I'm just letting that sinker, I'm just bottom bouncing. I was using this exact same technique with a row bag a week ago. But today what I'm doing is I'm using a bead, and the key with the bead is, because it's not a row bag, it's not a real bait, you need to keep it, or it's not a natural bait, you need to keep it moving. It's an artificial bait and you want to trick the fish, trick the trout into biting. So it always has to be on the move. And as you can see, my line has gone from there to there, and that's a perfect drift. I'll bring it in and I'll do it again. So I'm going to cover a lot of ground today. It's a gorgeous morning. March is coming in like a lion. We're here in the March and they're calling for a major snowstorm tonight. So I thought, you know what, let's take advantage and let's get out there right now and do some fishing before this major snowstorm. So what that means though, March comes in like a lion, it's gonna go out like a lamb, and that's gonna mean some great fishing at the end of March. But for now, I'm gonna enjoy this morning, so glad you could join me. Oh, there was a nice bite, folks, and he come barreling out of the water. It's not a big fish. It looked like a little steelhead, but it's hard to tell from here. But what a jump, he come right out. He picked up that bead right on the bounce. What a beautiful, beautiful jump he gave me, folks. Oh, yes, I love it. Now, the reason I like to use this braided line is because as I'm bottom bouncing, I could feel absolutely everything, folks. And then when I feel that hit, it's a direct hook set. So the beaded line is fantastic for that. Uh-oh, am I stuck on a rock? Okay, we got some trouble here now, folks. I am stuck on a rock. We'll see if he can get me out. The reason I like the fluorocarbon line is because the fluorocarbon will actually is less visible to fish, and it's also more abrasion resistant. And then of course the reason I like the T-turn, totally tangle free and no line twist. I got to see if I can get this guy off those rocks. Let me see if I can get him off. There we go, folks, the joys of the boatless angling. I got him out, and he is still on. Okay, let's see if I can make my way back now without getting totally soaked. Boatless angling, folks, at its best. Oh yeah, there you, oh, that's a beautiful little rainbow. Oh yes. Oh, that's a gorgeous fish. Look at this fish, folks. Oh, that's a beautiful little rainbow. There we go. Look at that. They are just gorgeous. The colors on these fish, really, really something. That's a nice little keeper. I'm gonna keep this fish. That's a good little eater. This guy's gonna grill up, I think, really nicely. Oh, there we go. Look at this little, nice little rainbow. There we go. A hook set. See that? See that bead? It's about an inch away from the hook. And that hook set, I'm using the size 6 hook. It's a nice small hook, as you can see there. Really little small hook. And the reason I matched the hook size with the bead size. So, there we go, folks. Absolutely gorgeous. That's what it's all about. Getting up in the morning and getting out there and having some good times on the water. Bottom bouncing, using beads. You don't need bait if you don't have it. Just use beads and you could be rewarded as well with a beautiful fish like this. Folks, I want to thank you ever so much for tuning in to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. It's always great to see you, and it's great to spend time on the water with you. Boatless angling, lots of great fishing right from shore. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, good luck and good fishing. Gorgeous fish.